What's up, everyone? Rat Pack here, and I got a few entitled parent stories for you here today. Let's get into it. So, our first story here is from user Paperweight Fairy. My family is pressuring me to give my 23 female sister my wedding venue because she needs it more and is pregnant. My fiance and I have been together for 8 years and engaged for 3. I was doing my PhD program and was juggling planning the wedding. My fiance took much of that work, but it was perfect because our dream venue was booked till after my graduation. So what we did is book our dream venue 3 years in advance. It is really a beautiful venue. The only slot we got was September of this year. Keep this date in mind. My sister got engaged a few months ago to her fiance. They were planning on having a spring wedding next year. They had no venue lined up, but had a few vendors lined up as well as a set date. Excuse me. They had no venue lined up, but had a few vendors lined up as well as a set date. Yesterday, our parents invited us and our souls to a family BBQ where my sister announced to our extended family that she is expecting. Everyone was so happy for her and my brother-in-law, who is a great guy. My nan asked my sister if the wedding was still on the set date or if they were going to wait. Because of the baby, she said no, and that she hoped to move it to September. We don't have many out-of-town guests, so they could attend to both weddings no problem. Nan was happy and asked sister if she needed help planning such a short-notice wedding. My sister then turns around and said, "That's what I wanted to talk to you about. I was really hoping we could kinda take your venue. I really cannot stress myself too much with planning a wedding while we're going to maternity classes, and I just think it's so beautiful. It would really mean a lot to me." It went silent, but everyone was looking at me, expecting me to say, "Yes, of course, everything for my little sister." My brother-in-law looked very uncomfortable and told her that they had talked about this and it was not okay to put me on the spot. But my sister just said, "Don't be like that. My sister wants to do what's best for me, so it's no big deal, right?" I just said, "Well, it kind of is. I don't know. I have my heart really set on the venue." Cue the crying. She stormed off. Nan told me that I was being selfish because she needed the venue more than I did? What? I tried to defend myself, and my mother said, "You waited 3 years. Would it have killed you to wait a few more months? When has your sister ever asked you for something?" A few comments later, my fiance got really mad and we left. My sister called me crying and said that it was unfair that I always get what I want and that I could have done this one thing for her. And Dad said, "It is just a venue, and what matters is the person who you are marrying." He's kind of right, but we have been planning for so long. My fiance is furious with my family and doesn't even want my sister to come. Now my family is threatening not to come because I am being selfish and my sister needs it more than me because having a baby is too stressful. This is ridiculous. Everyone in this family seems like pieces of crap except the brother-in-law. The fact they can't let you have this moment without causing a ruckus is beyond me. Let's get into the second part of this story. My brother-in-law called me and apologized for the inconvenience. He told me he had discussed it with my sister and she had told him she would not ask. He is properly mad with her now and warned me that my sister is blaming me for potentially ruining her marriage. My father has sent me about 5 texts along the lines of, "I hope you're happy. Your sister hasn't stopped crying since yesterday." And so on and so on. My fiance and I have decided to boot my sister from the bridal party and replace her with my aunt, who is the only family member that took my side. We have not decided whether or not we will invite my family as a whole. Furthermore, my mom took it upon her to tell on us. She called my fiance's parents and told them that it would be best if my sister gets it because she is pregnant and preeclampsia runs in a family, whatever that means. So I looked it up, and preeclampsia is one high blood pressure disorder that can occur during pregnancy. Huh? How does this affect her getting the venue? Let's move forward. My future father-in-law told them to screw off and basically yelled at my mom for expecting something so ridiculous and that they were going to lose me if they kept playing favorites. So my mom is now crying too and saying that my father-in-law is a butthole. It's getting so pathetic. It seems straight out of a bad soap opera. My my in-laws my in-laws are driving to us currently with some supper and wine and basically told me not to worry and that no matter what happens that they will be my safety net. I cried in happiness. Let's get into part 3. My sister. My sister saw this story while browsing on her Reddit account. She lost her mind. She accused me of painting her like a loony and misinterpreting facts. My sister got wind of this situation due to various media outlets and went on Reddit. She said that I was being unfair, that she is family, and that she asked it nicely because she loves me. She also underlines the fact that the opinion of internet strangers doesn't count because family is more important and that I should focus on making my family happy. The only text I sent back was this: I'm sorry that you perceived it that way. I did not in any manner distort what happened. As you might notice, I didn't describe your tone nor exaggerate anything. Perhaps you have that night different in your mind than I do, but I digress. I am sick and tired of bending to your will. My whole life I have been your servant and your doormat. Remember all the birthdays I had to share with you because you would throw a tantrum because you didn't get presents? Or when you cried so that I would fill out job applications for you? But the thing that has hurt me most till now is when you ruined my graduation. I am done. I admit that I also spoiled you, but I will not any longer. If you want to marry so bad before your baby is born, then you can look at Hotel X that offers last minute weddings. I've spent too much time planning my wedding to gift it to you. And if you want to ruin our relationship over this, then go ahead. I will sleep sound and safe knowing that it wasn't my fault. She only sent me a, wow, you must love me so very much, and blocked me. She unblocked me this morning to send me this wedding planner. Hello, dear. I got the message from your mother and will proceed with the rebooking of the venue on the spot. However, this will have extra costs as we have to change the names of the contract. Please come by my office tomorrow so we can sign a new contract. Sister. That's great. I'll be there at 9. My parents. My parents haven't actually written me since the thing with my father-in-law. My older brother, yes, I have an older brother, but he lives in another city and wasn't at the barbecue. That's why I didn't mention him. Plus, he initially could not come to the wedding because of work and changed his plans after hearing about all the story. So, my older brother contacted me and wanted to know what happened because he got a weird story from mom and dad. Mom had told him that I had offered previous to the BBQ to give up the venue to my sister and that I humiliated her. I told him what really happened and he had no problem believing me. We talked a lot about our parents' behavior and he confessed that him moving was partly due to our parents being, and I quote, booty heads to us. He told me that mom had gotten wind from the post and she was mad at me for betraying my family. I haven't written my parents what so many of you advised me to, because I have come to terms with the fact that they love my sister more than me, if they love me at all. The wedding. We sat together and put passwords with majority of our vendors, and also with the venue directly. We didn't talk to our planner yet, which is why the text from my sister worries me so much. Also, we canceled the catering that my parents paid for, so short term, we won't be able to get a full catering like we wanted to, but all our friends and my fiance's family will help us prepare a buffet, and everyone is going to chip in. That will be our bachelor party. Since we will have spent more on our food now than before, we canceled our bachelor parties and will have a family and friends cooking session. Thank you again for helping me see how toxic my family is. I will try to sort it out. If they apologize from the bottom of their heart, they will be allowed into my wedding. But if not, then well, I still have my brother, who will be walking me down the aisle, and my aunt. Part 4. I believe this is the final part. Yes, it is. Part 4. Part 4. We called my planner and she was actually really horrified. She told me she never had as much talk to my mother since the day we went to book the venue. She assured me that even if they were to call and say that I wanted it, I had to be present to make changes. So we informed everyone that will work for us on our wedding and they offered to hire security for that day at a reduced price. And that's the end of that story. Honestly, it sucks that even family can treat you this way. It seems like a running phenomenon within families that the older sibling ends up giving a lot of their lives in events for the younger sibling, and it ruins the older sibling's lives or at least affects them in a bad way. But this is definitely where you put the boot down. Asking for someone's wedding venue is outrageous. Seeing that the older sister has given up birthdays and supposedly a graduation. And the fact that the only one to support them is the brother and aunt boggles my mind. Also, the brother in law. And the quote of, "You have waited years, what's a few more months," is insane. Why can't the younger sister wait a few more months? It doesn't matter if you're pregnant or not. The person who is waiting for years deserves this time. And even then, it's not like this is just like a turn on the swings. This is a whole entire wedding venue. And then the sister has the audacity to act like the post paints her in a different light. This is literally the light you have provided for the world, and it's apparently impossible for the sister and the family to see it. I hope that the wedding went well for this couple, as seeing what they've been through so far, they deserve a win.
All right, guys. Thank you for listening to this. Bear with me here. I'm just now getting started on this YouTube editing stuff, and I don't really have the equipment to do this properly. So something that should have taken 1 to 2 days has taken me 4 days, with my computer constantly crashing. My video got deleted 3 times in a row, and I didn't have enough storage to even keep anything. So, in the future, hopefully I'll have better equipment to actually do this. I'm trying out a different mic right now, seeing if this sounds better than the one before. And I might just stick to using this mic than the one I used before, because it has little bumps and dips in it that are really obnoxious to deal with. So thank you for watching, and I hope to see you in the next video.